Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, I'm going to do an unusual story here because this is about Ireland. Now, they've had a lot of problems in Ireland of late, and the Irish government, it's a coalition government, it's led by Michael Harris. No, it's not, it's led by Simon Harris, sorry. It's Michael Higgins is the president. So Simon Harris is the Irish Prime Minister, and he's struggled of late trying to hold this coalition government together. Now, he's decided that it's no longer feasible, it's not viable, and he's decided he needs to have a general election to try and clear things up and get a mandate to move forward. So he's gone to the president, Michael Higgins, and asked, can you dissolve Parliament? And on Friday, Michael Higgins did just that. He, ended Parliament and signed off the whatever the mandate is to have an election, a general election on November the 29th. And this is where I think Ireland is going to have a big step change. And I'm going to go and explain why. But before we do, we just very, very quickly explain briefly a little bit of history of Ireland. In literally a minute. It's not a big thing. But ever since the 20s, when there was the Irish, became the Republic of Ireland, the Irish Free State and all this, it has more or less continuously been led by two parties, very much in the same way of Britain. Britain, we have Labour and Conservative, who've more or less run Britain, with a few tiny exceptions. It's only been those two parties. In Ireland, it's Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Now, they've either had one or the other has formed the parliament. Frequently, there's been coalition. There currently is a coalition involved with the Greens. But basically, they're the two parties that have ruled Ireland for 100 years, right? But times are changing and challenger parties are coming up. Now, Sinn Fein has a long history, but not necessarily a good history. And coming from my background is a Northern Irish Protestant unionist. That's my background. Sinn Féin were not necessarily on my Christmas card list. They were the political wing of the IRA. This was the era of, Gerry Adams and all this. I was growing up through the Troubles. And so, Sinn Féin to me were very much the opposition. And it's very important that you understand that from what I'm about to explain. Now, Sinn Féin have over the last sort of 25 or so, 30 years, really ever since the Good Friday Agreement, they've softened. All the old guard have tended to go, retire or die. You've got younger people coming through. I mean, you even had the Irish Michelle, oh God, I can't think of her surname, but the leader in Northern Ireland, Sinn Féin leader in Northern Ireland, actually laid a wreath today. First time that's ever happened. So things are changing. And ever since, as I say, the Northern Irish Agreement, Ireland has gone from a very dangerous place with the Troubles to a much safer place. There's still the odd arsehole around, of course. But generally, if you can go over, you can have a great time. It's a wonderful place, very different. If you've never been to Northern Ireland, please do go. But Sinn Féin were always associated with that. And even in the south, Sinn Féin were difficult for the south. The establishment especially found them to be sort of extremist. There was their links to the paramilitaries and all sorts of things. And so the Sinn Féin, even if they did well in elections, were never brought into government or anything like that. And so that's that kind of history. However, Ireland has, over the last sort of 20 years or so, changed massively. Cultural changes, societal changes, towns and villages and cities changing sometimes beyond all recognition. And the Irish people don't like it. They really don't like it. Immigration is a big problem in Ireland, and you've probably seen the things with little villages, only got a few hundred people, but then a reception centre or an asylum centre set up. In a village of 300 people, they're putting in an asylum seekers, putting 500 single men of fighting age. and it's frightening them. They're on the streets. And the police are coming along, and the police aren't going to arrest the villagers. And the police know that if they even tried this, there would be problems, there'd be trouble. Ireland is teetering. It's very much teetering on a precipice at the moment. But Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, the two ruling parties, are both pro-immigration. They're both bring them in, bring them in. They had the little Varadkar, bring them in with unlimited, uncontrolled, unmitigated immigration. And the people of Ireland have had enough. Sinn Fein have been campaigning on immigration. They're not coming out and saying that word. They don't want to be associated with the far right. They don't want to be the National Front of Ireland kind of thing. But they've been talking about housing issues, schools, doctors and health, services. They're talking about overstretched resources, not enough of this. Irish people being put to the back of the queue. And they're saying that the problems are from outside Ireland. And that's code for immigration. They're not saying the words, but that's the code. And people are listening. A lot of people are listening. And Sinn Féin is going to get a lot of support at this election come November the 29th. And this frightens the establishment. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael are terrified that Sinn Féin will win this election. Now, I've explained the background of Sinn Féin there, sort of in the context, and I've explained my background. So what I'm about to say next may come as a surprise, not least of which to me. Because come the election on November the 29th, I can't believe the words are coming out of my mouth, I would love Sinn Féin to do well. As someone from Northern Ireland, a Protestant and a Unionist, and I'm thinking, Sinn Féin. Because we can use Ireland as a test bed. Because Sinn Féin want to put Ireland first. Ireland for the Irish, if you like. The people of Ireland must come first in Ireland. And so if there's any housing available, the Irish must have it first. If there's any services available, the Irish must have it first. You cannot put immigrants ahead of the Irish in Ireland. This is their platform. And if it works, we must look at it in this country and see it working. Culturally, Ireland or England, and the rest of Britain really, Ireland and Britain, they're not dissimilar. Sure, there are small cultural differences, of course, but generally, we're very much similar people. We have the same work ethic, the same desires, the same shared cultural sort of background. On the big scale, obviously smaller differences. If Sinn Féin go in and make this work, political parties in this country must watch, take notes, and then implement. The British first in Britain, the Irish first in Ireland. And if Sinn Féin can do this and not be seen as an extremist, not be seen as far right, which they're not, Sinn Féin are quite left wing, then that's got to be the game plan in this country going forward from the next election. So yes, like I say, nothing promotes change like a little bit of chaos. And for Ireland, when you have a party coming in that is popular with the people but hated by the establishment, then this for Ireland is their Trump moment. Make Ireland great again. Thanks very much. Bye.